Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, May 12th, and we are going live. It is super windy out here, so hopefully the sound and the picture will hold up. Hopefully the tripod will hold up.
Whoopsie.
Nice catch.
Thanks.
Woo, that whole thing just came apart, and Vicky caught it like a pro.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Tessa. It's going to fall again.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Ever since we took it off of there, it's like it's...
Doesn't want to stick.
I'm messing with the camera. It fell, so bear with me.
Okay. Little technical difficulties. So if your screen seems to be shaking,
It is.
it's because it is. So Vicky's trying to
It's
stabilize.
okay. Keith Davenport says more motion sickness.
Vicky's trying to stabilize this thing.
Nice catch, Mingy. All right. I
Think
ain't
we're
touching
okay?
it no more. Yep.
Yeah, you will. Okay, so we're here, and hopefully we're like settled down now. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a great Tuesday. We've got a lot of things going on here, and I want to share a couple different things with you tonight on top of some sign carvers of the day. So let's see, any announcements we've got. Tomorrow morning will be a brand new video that Ryan and I did when we were over there, and I think you guys will like it. Thursday will be a repeat of one of our Facebook Lives from last week. Friday will be on YouTube like normal. And Saturday, we'll be back here on Facebook, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then Saturday also, hopefully, a senior moment.
Tessa said, I just figured my presence was just shocking.
She just what?
She figured her presence was just shocking. That's why I knocked over the camera.
That's what it was. She got nervous because she knew you were here, Tessa. Your order went out today, though, I think, right?
So did Danny Meadows. Your order went out, too.
Yep. So we're still we're back in the swing, getting orders out when they should go out, and everything is good. So I want to share. Let's do this one first. This is quite a sign.
I don't know if we're going to be able. I'm afraid.
I think it'll show up.
Yeah, I know, but I just wonder if I'm going to drop the camera in the process.
So this sign was done by Bob Hatch. And it is, gosh, how big is it? It's 3 inches thick, 2 inches wide. That's tall by almost 6.5 feet left to right. Over 800 inset letters on here. So when I saw this, I had a long conversation with Ryan about laying out signs like this that had like umpteen numbers of letters on it, layout letters.
Oh, Dan Yoda said, by the way, the ordering site looks great.
Yeah, we're
next step. We're ready to move on to the next step on it. So it's
yeah.
not done yet.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it, Dan. We're really happy with it. We want the front page to look like that ordering page, and that's kind of the next step. We just have to get that front page to look like
Peter
that.
said, good evening. I want to thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you for watching, Bruce. We appreciate it. Hope the sound is good. The wind seems to kind of subdued for the moment. Anyway, so if you've got a project like this, what I told Ryan, Ryan really has a tough time with the layout.
What size are those letters?
I think they're 1 inch. I believe they're 1 inch. I don't know that for sure, but that's what they look like to me. They might be 3/4 inch, but they look like 1 inch to me. So if you've got a big sign like this to lay out with just tons of layout letters, what I suggest to do, and I learned this a long time ago when I've got something like that. I've just got a piece of scrap here. Let me move this out of the way.
All right, real quick. Larry Cole says, I looked for a ball cap on the website. I couldn't find him. I want to order a blue one. Call me, Larry. 928-565-4566.
So let's say, I'm just winging it here, guys. I'm just say we've got 3 or 4, 5, 6 lines of inset letters. These are 1-inch letters, and we've got a bunch of them to do. What I have found, well, that line is off a little bit, but let's say we've got that many lines on this size of board. What I find is I will lay out one line at a time. I will figure out, like on that sign that Bob did, I would figure out my longest line, figure out where it needs to be left to right, and then I will calculate that out, put my lines on my board. But then when I go to lay them out, I'll get them basically the letters kind of where they need to go, and I'll lay out one line at a time, and I'll start from the top. I would mask this off, lay that top line out, spray it, mask that off, and move on to the next line. Then I would mask off both the top and the bottom, spray that second line, and move on. So that's just, when Ryan told me he had a tough time, he was doing a bunch of signs that had multiple lines on them, and he was really having a tough time for the layout. I said, well, you did it one line at a time, right? And he said, no, he'd never heard that. And I don't know that I've ever shared that on camera, actually. So when you've got something like that, and now I don't even know if Bob did it that way. I would assume, since there's over 800 letters on that, I would assume he did it in pieces. But always, when I've got multiple lines, of course, I'm handicapped in the fact that my fingers are like sausages. So I would move something, and then the top line would move, and you've got more. When you've got multiple lines like that, you've got to concentrate on everything, that it doesn't slide around if you're spray. Huh? And spelled correctly. Yeah, there's just so much. Beside the fact that if you don't have that many layout letters, it's going to be tough to do. So you've got to piece them and move them around. So that's just a hint for you guys, a tip. I would definitely, if you've got a sign that's got a lot of layout on it, do it, 2 lines, maybe 3 lines max. If it's any more than that, I'm going to do it in pieces.
Dan said, how is that a handicap? They're
yeah,
fat.
Because they're fat fingers.
Ron and Rosie Smith.
Hey, Ron and Rosie. How are you guys enjoying? Well, it's probably cooled off. You guys were talking about how hot it was down there, but Justin, it's cooled off in the last few days.
Justin said, thank you for sharing this, Eric. No, I have never heard of this on a video. This will help me a lot.
See? There you go. You're welcome, Justin. I'm happy to help, my friend. If you guys have questions like that you haven't heard me answer, maybe it is on a video. Maybe I can point you to the right video, or maybe I'll just, I'll answer you one way or the other. But anyway, that is just kind of a tip on the layout if you're using layout letters. Second question is from a new gentleman. His name is Terry, and he writes, I hope I don't lose my microphone there. He writes, it seems that you don't experience any kick when you place the bit into your stock. Is that because the bit is so small? I had to really kind of think about that for a minute. But then I realized what he was talking about. So let's say, for instance, I've just got a profile bit in here. But let's say, for instance, I'm going to carve something in here. What I do not want to do, and it doesn't matter, the fact that the bit is small has maybe a little bit to do with it, but not really, not much. The more wood you're taking out, the more likely you're going to have this happen. But if you take your router, and this, if this was going, and I set it down into that wood with that router bit moving, and I just set it down like that, chances are that thing is going to kick on you. And I think that's what Terry was talking about. If you watch, woo, here we go, that was a gust. If you watch always, I'm going to say always, because I hope always, I've got my hand on the board and I've made contact. Either the base is in contact with the board when I set that router down, or my hand is in contact with the board when I set that router down. That eliminates the chance of that router bit spinning that board or kicking it or having it kind of deflection and get
Goosey?
Yeah, get not the bit itself, but the board itself, having it kind of tear. And if you guys have ever been in a hurry and you just try to set this down in there like that with it running, it will kind of jar a little bit and do a little tearing. So always have your either the base of the router bit down, or the router down when you drop down into that material. And I hardly ever drop straight down in. Almost always I come in from an angle. So whether your base is down or whether your hand is in contact with that board, drop down that way. So I think that that's kind of how I answered Terry's question. I think you just asked that in the last day or two. But for all of you new people, that's just something that I do instinctively, and you guys that have been carving for a while, I'm sure you do it instinctively. But for the new people, maybe they didn't know that.
Question.
Yes.
First of all, Rigoberto Garza says hi from Edinburgh, Texas.
Hey, Rigoberto.
Larry Kuhn likes our chimes. He can hear him in the background.
Yeah.
Richard Litz says, Eric, what is the most popular sign you do? I'm planning to go to farmers markets, and what's the sign I should have in stock?
Oh, gosh. I think that depending, and that's Richard? Is that what you said? I think that, yeah.
Richard Litz.
Richard, for me, the most popular sign that I had when I was out there would be personalized signs, but I was doing them right there on site. I don't know if that's what you're planning to do.
He said stock signs.
Yeah, generally speaking, new sign carvers are not carving on site. So I liked anything that was funny, that is appropriate for the area that you're in. If you're in a rural place and there's a lot of horses and cows and farm area, find funny quotes that have to do with that. Find funny or humorous stuff that has to do with that. The other thing is, you could go with, if there are sports around you. Now, I'm not saying carve copyrighted logos or anything. There are some people that do that and they don't have any problem. I'm not an attorney, so I can't advise you to do that. But I did used to. And again, I've had people say that this was kind of breaking the rules. I used to do football, NFL signs, where I would buy stickers, buy decals, Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals. I would put that on the end, and then I would put #1 Bengals fan. It would say Randy, #1 Bengals fan. So I carved a lot of those. I carved a lot of signs that had to do with any upcoming Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation, 4th of July. We're still a couple months away from there. So anything that has to do with your area, and again, get as much out there that's humorous that people will stop and read.
Also Bible verses.
Yeah, Bible quotes, really good. Even famous quotes from movies and stuff like that. Yeah, anything that people will stop and read, I think is a good idea. So that's kind of my thing. I used to really concentrate on the personalized stuff, the Joneses, Ed and Helen, because I did it right there on site. And if you are going to be at a farmer's market and it's a weekly thing or a daily thing that that local people can order from you and then pick it up the next day or the next week or whatever, then have plenty of personalized stuff out there too.
What's the deepest you would cut a letter? Say it was a 2-inch thick board.
I don't hardly ever go over 1/4 of an inch. I just don't find it's necessary. Yeah, I don't find it's really necessary. Once in a while, I'll go slightly over 1/4 of an inch if I've got a ton of room. But other than that, I stay generally right around 1/4 of an inch.
Glenn Showalter says, hey, all Pennsylvania here.
Hey, Glenn.
Jerry Treat's watching.
Jerry Treat? How are you, Jerry? My gosh, I was just talking about you to Jim Augustini the other day. I was sitting in his backyard. We were talking about you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Okay. Anything else?
Justin asked if our chimes was our storm warning system.
Yeah, it does. It almost sounds like something from Twister, huh?
Yeah.
It almost sounds like that. Yeah.
I love that little frog.
Okay. Sign carvers of the day. Let's bring them on. Well, I guess Bob Hatch was the first sign carver of the
See
day.
if I can do this without Jerry gave a thumbs up.
Did he?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. All right. So let's see. We can do this without stuff flying around.
Hi, Brad and Diana.
Hey, you guys over in Australia. Will Hackler
All right, hold on.
made this for the foyer at his school. The phrase is mandated in all Kentucky schools. I like that. That's cool. All right.
Jess said I just got on. Is that a new Milwaukee palm sander?
This is actually a router.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Bauer. Actually, this is a Harbor Freight Bauer. It's kind of a knockoff of the Makita. It's actually a really good little router. I like it.
I'm not on that.
Oh,
No.
okay. It's a Bauer little trim router. Michelle Schuler. Second sign ever.
Holy moly. Good job.
For a second sign, that's really, really good. Very ambitious. Great job, Michelle. Trying to keep things from flying around here. Chris Douglas, first sign.
Very nice.
Great job. Good job on that background. Terrific work, Chris. Congratulations. Let's see. And this is...
Bruce Peter said, I like this quote. You only live once. If you do it right, once is enough.
That is good. Agustin Vasquez. His first 3 signs. Check that out.
Very nice.
Really, really cool. I've been getting some really amazing first sign carvers lately. Really, really nice. Good job. Augustin, I think, is the way that's pronounced. And Jim Symington
Wow. Oh, that's that one. He made that for his daughter, right?
for his daughter and son-in-law. They got
Yeah.
married on a beach in Mexico.
That's awesome.
How cool is that? Very nice.
That's a lot of painting.
I love all the colors. Great job, Jim. I bet they were thrilled with it. And last, Mike Locke,
Oh, there's that cedar.
making signs since January of 2019. These are a few of the signs he made between October and December. He's now a full-time sign and furniture maker. Congratulations, Mike. Fantastic. Beautiful stuff. Excellent. Great sign carvers of the day today. All right, boys and girls. Anything else I can answer for you?
Do you put sanding sealer on all your new boards or mostly on pine?
Just almost always just pine.
Steven says.
Yeah, just the white. I have used it on like Douglas fir, anything that's got a really light grain to it. White. I haven't found that I needed it on white poplar, but on pine, Douglas fir, anything like that. Those rounds that you get at Home Depot and Lowe's, those generally are like a Ponderosa pine. They definitely need a sanding sealer.
They split if you don't put sanding sealer on.
Yeah, and they're it's construction grade material. That stuff really it wasn't designed to carve signs out of and be outside for sure. Most people grab those things, they slop paint on them, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, so those are the ones: cedar, redwood. Again, white poplar, regular poplar, cherry. I don't put sanding sealer on any of that stuff because it doesn't have a propensity to bleed.
It's a good quote. Bruce Peters said, Mark Twain quote, "It's better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than to open it and remove all doubt."
That is a very good one. There's some really cool stuff.
Google Mark Twain quotes or
Yeah,
funny Christian
or Will Rogers quotes.
or funny movie quotes.
Yeah,
or,
yeah. It could be even, could be Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes, because people that are Arnold fans will buy that stuff. So, yeah, there's just so many different ideas. Let Google be your friend. Go find ideas on Google. You can even just type in funny signs on Google, and you'll have all of the material you would ever need. Just tons of stuff. So I do that quite often. All right, boys and girls, that is it. We're going to get out of here before the wind really blows the camera off the tripod again. So hope you like this. Hopefully it was helpful. Blah, blah, blah. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to subscribe over on the YouTube channel. It is Old Dave 100. That's OLDAVE 100. Give us a thumbs up and a share and like and all that stuff.
Said, are any of your viewers doing resin? Yeah, they are. Justin Hellickson is doing resin. I've talked to him a couple of times.
There's quite a few, yeah. I know Mike up in Boston. There's quite a few that are starting
Mike's
to do some resin.
Tonight.
Haven't seen Mike for a while.
Before the tornado comes the way it sounds, have a great night. Don't blow away. Stay safe.
All right, you guys. Thanks again. We'll be on, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll be on tomorrow night, same place. And then tomorrow morning, you'll see my video with Ryan. So anyway, thanks so much, guys, for watching. Questions, email me directly, eric@makeawoodssign.com. Oh, by the way, if I don't get, I try to go through an hour after we're done here. I try to go through and heart everything. But if I don't answer your question here or in those comments, please email me directly, because I don't want you out there with questions that I haven't answered. I'm really kind of anal about that. Yeah, I hate people thinking I'm not answering their questions. So.
Oh, Justin, how did it look, Justin? He said he got his resin fixed.
Oh, good.
The one with the spider in it.
Send me a picture, buddy.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Send us some pictures. So keep sending those pictures of sign carvers of the day, and I'll keep showing them, and I'll keep answering questions. So hope you guys have a great night. A great day tomorrow, and we'll see you here tomorrow night.
Oh, yes. He said it turned out perfect. I'll send pictures. Awesome.
Excellent.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks,
all right,
Justin.
You guys, good night.
Bye, guys. We love you.